Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai with the Scramble for the Far East mod. As you can see, we are currently setting up for a battle. During the end turn, the enemy sallied forth here before I was able to set up what my actual starting position for this episode was. However, as this looks like a pretty good battle, I think we'll go ahead and start with this, and then we'll go through what's going on the campaign map. With that said, let's jump straight into battle and defeat these Prussians. So, this is Commander Oleg, the guy that was raised from the ranks because he performed so well as a commander. I can't remember what battle. I think it was the siege battle where he was able to see off quite a few troops. He's moved on to a castle, the enemy decides to sally forth, and this is where we find ourselves. So he's been able to take a nice hill to set up his defensive position. He's got a lot of cavalry and decent amount of cannons, although they're not really a decider of the battle. We're gonna get tons of reinforcements of infantry, so that'll be good. With that said, you know what? Let's just go for it. Sir. The enemy spawns quite far away. I think since they would be, or they are attacking, one would think that they would want to be closer to us as they start their approach. But this just gives me a lot of time to actually set up my army, so we're gonna go ahead and set more cavalry here. And then all these extra troops. So we get a few Alexandrovich infantry. And the thing is, I can layer here on the hill. So I can get Alexandrovich infantry over there. And then what is left is a ton of these infantry units. We'll drag them out like this, and then I'll add them to the front line as we go. Let's go ahead and make sure that everyone's on guard mode, except for the cavalry. The cavalry I kind of want to follow the enemy. Putting the troops in order. Looks like the enemy is marching out to go out on the open field. I don't think they... Might be hard to swing around with the cavalry around this side. Instead, what I'm going to do is we're going to concentrate all cavalry, move through the hill, and then come up right behind them. We've got a Jaeger unit here, and I'm going to send that one forward. It's going to hold the position right there. Let's make sure that the cavalry don't ride in front of the cannons as this battle starts. They're concentrating quite a bit of troops in the center, and then there's a few here outliers. So definitely need some extra lines here, I think. Now we can set these guys in order. Let's have these join the front ranks, or join the line there. And then the rest of the troops will be moved forward, joining the line there. As they are moving into position, I'm going to tell the cannon to hold fire. Oh, we're already starting to fire. The front line is firing right now. No return fire from the Prussians. They're moving on to us, which is a horrible idea given that I have multiple lines here that are able to fire above each other. Okay, cannon can open fire. Turns out that this battle is going to be a lot easier than I thought it would be. The enemy is just walking straight onto us. And now they're kind of stopping to fire. I don't think it's going to be enough though to break my front lines. And here comes my cavalry. This unit's already running. You know what? Let's go for it. Cavalry forward. Let's sweep through the side here. And ride down our enemy. We have some units taking quite heavy casualties. Prussians seem to be concentrating fire over here, but at the same time we can see a lot of Prussian units are breaking. This one just broke. It'll be run down by the cavalry. Having a little bit problem getting this one.
Under attack. Your victory is
kind of
close,
feels
sir.
unlikely that my general will be run over or shot down by enemy. Maybe not right in front of that unit. Slowly but surely, the entire Prussian line falls apart, and they really stood no chance in winning this battle. Let's make sure that we ride down as many of these guys as possible before we go ahead and end this battle. So I make sure that there's no one left to defend the castle. And there we go, we are victorious. And I'm gonna allow the Cossacks to ride the enemy down. And I should probably tell my infantry at this point to hold fire and not shoot our own troops. This one barely took 6 minutes to complete this battle. But there we have it. The defenders of the castle moved out into the open, and we crushed them. Here's the result of that battle: a decisive victory. The enemy deployed 3,000 men against our 5,000. They lost all of it, more or less. Only 224 managed to get away. We lost 1,200 men. Still leaves us with 4,500, which is quite a lot more than what the enemy has. Cossacks in the top, no surprise there. Then infantry as we go along. Nothing interesting to be said about that. No units destroyed, very good. We'll be able to take this castle. If not already now, then after the end turn is run through. Let's start from the north, in fact. So the furthest province we hold in north of Japan is Oshima, which we took from the enemy. We're trying to resurrect the French. Turned out it didn't work. The inhabitants here have a very interesting strategy. They use their shimsegumi is what they're called. They're using them to rile up the population of the province, and then once they turn rebel, they buy them off and buy them so they control them, which is quite interesting. There's quite a lot of them, but most of it is these traditional units which can't really stand a chance against these troops. Also, I fought a battle at this castle. This castle is impossible to attack in the configuration that it is right now. It's situated on a peninsula. It's got, I mean, there's so many cannons and stuff. It even got naval bombardment batteries that in certain areas face towards where the enemy is coming from. It's a really interesting fortress. It's really hard to get through unless you have a lot of cannons, which these guys don't. Not much going on here though. We're kind of locked down. Not able to really move. Eventually, I'm hoping that I can move out most of the forces and just leave the Alexandrovich infantry and have the other army move to the next area and so on. Or if we can find some kind of peace agreement with these guys. If we go further down south, then I've moved the secondary army. Also, partly why I moved them out was because the enemy had a lot of very veteran characters like these, and they would just assassinate everything if I stayed. So I have moved the fleet down here, and the idea is to bring this army with Gordon Chaplin, Gordon Chaplin, to land his forces here and lay besiege this castle right here. To do that, we need to shoot down this harbor to the point where the cannons are not returning fire. I'm hoping I'll be able to sabotage it with my assassin. Okay, that didn't work, so we're gonna have to go in and... no, not disembark. We're going to bombard it. And in that way... wait, can I bombard from outside the range? Why did I move the fleet that was actually important in if I can sit out of range and bombard it? Damn, I'm stupid. Anyways, hopefully we'll bombard it down to where it cannot actually return fire on us, and I'm able to land. So we're gonna land a force here. Meanwhile, I've actually moved up another force. The one that was situated up here has moved through, partly during winter, so they have a little bit of... they've lost a few troops here and there. However, they have enough troops so that it's actually an easy out-resolve to take control of this castle. Not losing that many men, but at the same time they're not losing as many troops as quickly. 1,000 men, so about a fifth since we had 5,000 men roughly. No units destroyed. Cavalry, of course, got destroyed. Not entirely sure why they decided to use that from the reserve force that was coming up. Seems like he used a lot more of these guys to charge the fort than he used his own. Anyways, Boris was able to take Ungo Castle, and now that has fallen into our hands. This increases the influence, I believe, of Prussians, so we don't want that. But then we have that province. We can see that there's actually a Prussian force over here. Then over here was the battle we just played, and only a single unit remains. So 44 men against what did I have, 5,000-ish? I mean, I'm surprised that it doesn't immediately like click off when I click this. I notice only he is losing troops. Took unnecessarily long time. Peacefully occupy this. Very nice. Soon enough, the entirety of the north will be under my control, and we can send these armies down south. Bloody mistake I made here. However, we've got a threat to all these troops, which is the force down here, which I haven't really figured out how I'm gonna deal with it. What I could do is wait, and then as all of these armies up here are able to run through and do their work, we can send them down by the railway line, and we're gonna station right here, as long as we hold the castle, that is. So hopefully we'll be able to do that within 5 turns. I could possibly just use these to attack, to try and open up the siege just for a little bit. I also think I noticed, no, there wasn't actually any force coming up through here. But that's what's going on here. Then if we go further south, there's more troops coming this way. Then if we go further south, I have been recruiting a lot of extra troops to bring up to the front. Because we're still at war with the Americans, of course. So I'm bringing up a lot of extra troops so that we can make advance into here. We've got these guys, they advanced past us when I didn't have anyone at the bridge. Not entirely sure where they were going. And then of course we remember that we had the battle against the Prussians right here. I sent my spy down to figure out what's going on here. As we can see, there's really nothing going on here. So instead he's gonna head up here, check out what's going on to the north. Nothing here either, so the general will be able to then attack here. And that's also quite an easy outer assault. We're gonna bring in the reserve troops here just in case. For this cavalry unit, pretty sure he's gonna die. At this point, I need... Okay, so we're gonna get 39th province through this. Why did it turn worse when the reinforcement army turned up? I'm gonna move them away and see if that changes it. Why did the... Oh, now it's back. Now, when I... What? When I gain more troops, it becomes... my chances are lowered. Compared if... Well, how does that logic work? Anyways, let's go and add an outer assault here and gain our 39th province. If I lose this just because of this, we lost 600 men, and we gained a howitzer, and we gained... I can make vassal of all these kind of weird nations all over the place, but I wasn't able to resurrect France. Supreme Court. That's the biggest, like... Was that the a Prussian capital, or... We're gonna tear that down. Mulberry trees. I wonder if that's gonna affect my trade a lot. We have another province here which has nothing to defend it. I can have my spy go ahead and check what they've got there. So we got an extra cannon. See if I can select that. So we've crushed a lot. I need one more province before I can win. And then I have my fleets. So I've concentrated my fleet around here. It was really to stop these guys passing through and fighting my new ally of these Osu. However, now when I've got so many ships in this region, I think it's time to try and break this. Even it's gonna be like I'm gonna lose a lot of ships going through there or doing that naval battle, but I think it might be worth it. Probably not, but if I'm able to capture one of their big kickapoo ships, or whatever you want to call them, then it definitely will be worth it. Because they have a very reduced capacity to recruit them now when they only have 2 military ports. So that's the situation right now. Once we're able to bring the cannons up to this army and combine it with the mortars, we'll be marching on Totomi and take that. And then I think what we'll do... The main army should attack here. I'll need to send my spy to figure out what's going on here. Then we might be able to drag some troops together to attack this place right here. Some of the extra troops out of this. I've got extra troops moving in from all sides. I've been recruiting a lot of troops up here. Obviously right by the railway network, so we can move them pretty rapidly into position. Would be nice to control the railway that goes up through here and start working our way down that line as well. Let's see if I can... Do I have a unit within reach of the railway lines? Or there we go, I can actually see them. So we can see the line going from the north all the way down through here. And I think we can use it, the railway line, even into allied provinces. later on. So that'll be nice. Currently, there was some... I think the Dutch had... No, they're still at war with the Americans. And I made them go to war with the guys up north here. But they actually sued for peace with the Prussians. So I'm not entirely sure if it was that the Prussians were starting to break... or kind of pushing them back. Or that they, for some reason, decided that they didn't want more territory of the Prussians, which seems like an odd thing. Currently, I have then not that many turns left, but I only one province, and we still have 4 turns of summer, then we have 4 turns of autumn, and 4 turns of winter, I believe. Then the timer runs out, as it were, for this. Now, I could definitely play longer than that, but I think kind of a culminating battle against the Prussians here, because at this point I think I am the nation with the most provinces. So the Americans only have 11 at this point. The Dutch have 20, and then the Prussians have 24. But we have to remember that at this point I have 39. I'm going to 40. So, and I'll be able to take this one. I'll be able to take loads of provinces here. But for now, let's go ahead and end turn. See what the enemy comes up with to try and defeat me. My general was wounded in single combat, so... Damn it. Single combat averted somewhere? Let me take a look at that. And then distraction. So my very high star general that was in control of this army got wounded by this guy, a 1 star. That always frustrates me so much. I still want to see if I can advance further, even without my general. Nice, he was killed. That allows me to use my spy or my assassin to actually look what's up there, and there's really nothing. So we'll still advance the force. We'll get this guy. Ah, yeah, he just assassinated someone. Or he just... So they will still go, even though it's going to take a bit longer for them. Gonna add a police station. I'm gonna need quite a few units to actually hold down this place, so I won't be able to send any troops right now over here. Looks like nothing's really happening here anyways. The American force moved down, and then there's another force coming up. Now, the only way to cross is at that bridge, and I am amassing a lot of troops down on this side. Let's see if we can bring in even more down from the rail line. How many troops do I need here? I can bring out 12 units. I don't know how many are in the castle there, in fact. I can bring an extra 2, in fact. Okay, so I need to just have a garrison of 3. That brings a lot of troops. And we'll ship them all the way down. I am also recruiting troops up here. Very good cavalry that we'll be sending down. Also, railway line. Easy access. 4 turns. It's not looking too well for that garrison. Let's see if we cannot... We've got access to the railway line here. I should already actually move this guy down. Let's keep these guys in the castle for now so they can replenish, and then send this guy with, and we'll take them down the railway line, and we'll start preparing a massive army to take on this. the same time, I definitely don't need to keep this army here. Fastest way to a railway connection is probably easiest to actually go north for him. And then I can keep this force just to hold this province down and replenish that troop for a while. Let's see if we can't go ahead and sabotage the port. Sabotage failed. And let's go ahead and bombard. This one was able to bombard from the outside. Oh, now it did nothing. They keep repairing it as well, and now this one's once again stuck within range of this. It's because the guns on these don't actually provide that much. Train likes his food. Ah, he's become a fatty, has he? Looks like they're gathering up here. We could actually, if they attack, we could actually show off the castle here. But I'm thinking that what we're gonna do now is a naval battle. I already did a land battle for this video. Now we're gonna open up the port and be able to trade with our ally. And hopefully that's gonna provide gold for them, so they might be able to push the Prussians out. I think they might have actually already started to push the Prussians out of the island. They've retaken this. I don't think... Yeah, this was definitely... They've just the turn before, been able to retake this province. So they're retaking the island. I probably should have left at least one ship here just to stop the Prussians from bringing in reinforcements. So they're retaking the island. The Prussians are losing ground. Let's go ahead and attack. And the American fleet does not stand, which is a good sign. But I need to sink it still. I have in total 24 ships against 9 of the Americans. However, we know the strength of these American ships. It's gonna be one hell of a battle, and we're gonna have to ride through hell to actually get to the enemy. But now with my ramming ability, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to cut this fleet down. Although, quite a lot of our ships will probably sink. With that, let's run them aground, these bastardly Americans. Turns out my reinforcements actually turning up behind them, and we're actually starting close enough that we'll be within range of each other pretty quickly. Thing is, the ramming ability, what's it called? Regenerates pretty darn quickly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna immediately hit it, just so that we can push through as fast as possible, rather than overheat, which overheat is dangerous, and I don't think it's actually as good as the ramming. The problem is we won't be shooting the guns of the ships at the same time, but I don't think that's going to be a major problem. Anyways, what I could do is I could set them up in kind of 2 rows, so that it is the ships that fire kind of the old style cannon shots that are coming up first. But I think it's best just to go as it is. With that, let's start.
Today, sir,
immediately ram to speed this along.
I fear your general is in mortal peril, sir.
There's a big naval battle going on, but I just noticed there's a hell of a factory down there. Right, I'm hoping my reinforcements come in pretty darn soon,
sir,
through here.
Your general is in terrible danger.
Because that'll be right in their arse, and I'll be able to... Oh, we can fire even when ramming. Okay, so my admiral ship just surrendered, but everyone else is going strong. And as you can see, we've been able to close the distance quite rapidly. We have a ship coming in here, Okay, so I can only have 10 on the field then, as it were. Come on.
A ship has come about, sir. It
Okay,
is
we've got
withdrawing.
another one retreating. I'm gonna hit the ability again. And everyone's gonna ram in formation against the enemy. Now this one came in. I'm gonna go north. And even ships burning and everything. We just hit that one. Hit this one. Sinking, sinking, sinking. Nice. This one. Speed forward. I'm getting a lot of reinforcement now just because so many of my ships are surrendering. This one didn't get that far. Let's see if I can turn this one. Should be fine. Ramming speed. Let's turn these guys down. See if we can't ram this one as well. Ooh, ram.
Your men are withdrawing.
If they're able to pass, I might just ram my own ship. No, they are not. I'm gonna ram them in the back. Let's see, didn't I set... Ah, they managed to get away, kinda. But not really. I didn't hit my own, did I? No. Keep going after these two. Like, a lot of my ships surrendered, but it doesn't seem as though they have sunk. We're coming in for another ram here. Let's make sure that we don't miss this
Damn
one.
the cowards! A ship is withdrawing, sir!
And hit it. Full speed ahead. If we can't beat them by cannon power, then I will ram them until they're all gone. Was he able to take the hit? No, he's not. He's sinking. There's only one American ship left, and he's wavering. Maybe I can just force him to surrender. I want the ship that just turned up to make sure that they are firing explosive shot. Let's see. Can I force you to surrender? Let's try not to shoot each other here. I think we are. You are surrounded. Surrender. Oh, he's coming. Well, if you don't want to surrender, then I'm gonna ram you straight ahead. You aren't sinking? You were able to tank that? Should have taken tons of his health. Oh, a straight on ram and he didn't actually sink. I guess we weren't able...
Come about, sir.
We weren't really able to
withdrawing.
build up a lot of speed with that one. I've got another ship lined up though. So don't you worry, you bastard. Would be nice to get him to surrender, but the more of these Americans I can sink, the better. Let's go for another ram. This time we're able to build up speed. And we hit the bastard. And we go through the length of the ship. I've seen the Titanic, I know what's going on. Oh, look at that. There's even a hole in the side. He must be taking on water now, and he is sinking. We are victorious. It's fine. Even though the first gun tower is underwater, they're still firing. Even now, just before they're going underneath the water, they're still firing. I wouldn't be surprised if they still fire here. Close victory, but victory nonetheless. Mass wave of the Russian Empire charge in to just brute force their way through the American fleet. The good thing here, even though it was a close victory, if we actually look at it, none of my ships were sunk. They might have surrendered, but none of them were sunk. And in fact, we sunk 8 of their ships. And we captured the last one. So their fleet is gone. And the port is open. So we've gained trade. And my fleet is still intact. Now it would be nice to find a port where we could repair the fleet. So that I can do this again. But yeah, very nice indeed. We sunk those guys. Now we need to move back over from where we came and block the Prussians. We're gonna leave some ships to block the Prussians. The rest is gonna go back to refit their ships. But with that, with 2 battles in this video, I think it's high time we end it. Next time around, we should be preparing to gain the last castle. It could very well be that I have lost this one by that time, but gained the one to the north. So there will still be one left before victory. And I might have gathered a large host here to go ahead and attack and bring one huge final showdown with thousands of Prussian troops facing thousands of Russian troops. With that said, I'm gonna end the episode right here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.
I fear your general is in mortal peril, sir. are withdrawing! A ship has come about, sir! It is withdrawing! Your men are withdrawing!